do it.
I don't wanna.
You know it's bad. I know it's bad. We all know it's bad. The nerd already did it. We're doing all these fucking games. We're doing it.
Today, we gotta look at winter games for the NES.
This game was originally released in 1985, and it came out for goddamn near every single platform in the 80s. And I am not kidding you here. The Amiga, the Apple II, the Atari ST, the Apple II GS, the Amstrad CPC, the ZX Spectrum, the PC, the Atari 2600, the Atari 7800, the Commodore 64, the NES, the Famicom Disk System, the Virtual Console, and the Apple Macintosh. Woo! Anyway, today we're looking at the NES version. It came out in 1987. It was developed by Epix and published by Acclaim.
The graphics. Let me just preface this entire review with one thing. For anyone who says, I don't think you guys are being fair or you're giving too much beer to the beer meter, suck a dirty dick. Because this game really, really does suck. It's probably the worst one I've ever played. But anyway, the graphics. So you have 4 events. You have hot dog aerials. You see what it looks like? Doesn't look terrible, but it's very average to below average. You have this bobsled thing, which, what the fuck? There's so much going on this screen, and it's so confusing that when you break it down, it all looks like shit. In that one corner, you have what's supposed to be clouds, which to me just look like white tire marks. You have the map screen, which, okay, it's a fucking map. You can do that on MS Paint. And then you have your actual moving guy. The biggest problem I have with this is I can kind of see what they were going for, but it's just so poorly executed that fuck that. Now let's move on to the speed skating. Well, if you like the color teal, then this is your cup of tea. But not for me, and I didn't mean to just rhyme there. It just happened. But anyway, damn it! Yeah, it just looks like shit. And finally, we move on to the figure skating. And this is the most detailed figure in the entire game, and that's pretty sad. The reason we're saying it's the most detailed is because it's the only thing that actually looks like a real person. Other than that, the opening credits actually kind of cool with the flame animation and the person running up. Everything else sucks. As you can see, we both gave it 2s. I'm adding 3 beers right off the bat, just because this goddamn game annoys the tits off me.
The sound. Let's start with the music. There's not a lot. Now, in the intro scene, it's actually pretty good. It's very well constructed. And during the figure skating, you get a pretty good rendition of Swan Lake. But besides that, aside from, a few little chiptunes here and there for before and after events, you don't get anything. And the sound effects in the game are barely above what you get on an Atari. I get that the game was originally made in '85 for computers, but come on people, you can do better than this. It's just a really weak presentation, but the music you do get is good and that kind of saves it for us, so we were feeling generous for whatever reason, and we gave it 4s. I'll add 2 beers for the 2 songs you get in the game. Whoopee!
Well, this video is a turnaround. I'm going to be the one speaking the most. And I gotta talk a lot about the goddamn control. Once again, I have to go event by event, and I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it, because I'm goddamn thorough! Before I talk about any of the events, let me just say one thing. To our knowledge, B does absolutely nothing. So right there, cut off half of the goddamn NES remote. You only need 1 button. Maybe this is a sign it was really just meant for Atari.
The Commodore had 1 button. Ow! God!
Anyway, let's start looking at the events. Hot dog aerials. Simple enough. You just go off a jump and you make your guy spin, right? Should be easy. Nope. So the first instinct after you hit A is to just rotate the D-pad. Well, you have to rotate the D-pad and hit A. And even then, as you're spinning, it's so goddamn delayed and stiff that you're going to fall on your face 95% of the time. The figure skating. What the fuck? I literally had to play it for a solid 10 minutes to figure out at least as much as I could. So you have to hit back and A to put the ballerina, I know she's not a ballerina, but I'm going to call her that anyway, to go backwards. And then you hit down and A to do this little spin at the bottom, up and A to do a spin at the top. To my knowledge, that's the only moves I could figure out, and if you hit a wrong button combination, you're going to fall flat on your face. And even when you do complete the spins, I think if you fall once, the judges fuck you hard. So, yeah. that sucked too. And for the speed skating, and my creme de la creme of fucking shit. You start it, you hit A, nothing happens. You think, do I use B for this? Nope. You have to hit right and left on the D-pad, back and forth as fast as you can. For newer generations, you might not know the pain of the D-pad of the NES, but it's a fucking tiny little ass pad. Your fingers will be goddamn killing you, and unless you're going against a buddy and you both get fucked up at the beginning, you will almost never beat the computer unless you play this a lot, which if you do, fuck. Finally, the bobsled. The only game mode that's semi-redeeming in Control, and that's because all you're doing is going left and right. Kind of like slalom, but nowhere near as good. God damn, does this game suck. So, as you see, we both gave it 2s. Honestly, the only reason it didn't get a 1 is because of that bobsled level. I'm adding 4 beers because there's 4 events and they all suck dick.
The gameplay. I don't think there's much more I need to say. The control was very, very bad. So the games are very, very bad. Most of them are damn near unplayable. Credit once again to the bobsledding because you can actually get better at it the more you play it. It's very simple. All the games are simple. They're all pretty bad. We gave it 2s. I don't know what else to say. I'll add another 4 beers for 4 events. Boom.
Dear God, this is one of the moments where I hate the fucking metrics we had. I know I was one of the ones that helped develop them, but Jesus Christ, we have to give this game credit. This is your fault! It's true, it's my fault. The originality. This is the second winter game to come out on the NES. So right off the bat, it's getting points for that. But it offered 4 events in one game, and they're all unique events to the NES at the time. So unfortunately, I have to give it credit. And you know what? I'm going to try and turn this negative. I'm giving it credit for being such a goddamn bad game that's unique, right? Begrudgingly, we both gave it a 9. I'm only going to add 1 more beer because I really fucked us by adding a 9 to this score.
Alright, you get 4 events. That's not a lot, but for the NES and a minigame-based game, that's not bad. Especially for the time it came out. The only real replayability you're going to get from this game is just trying to beat your scores. Or to try to win any events, because you're going to have to play it a lot to ever get the hang of this piece of turd enough to actually win an event! But, we must digress. We would never recommend playing this game. We would not recommend buying this game. If you had every NES game, including stadium events, including Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak, including Baby Booner, and including both versions of goddamn Nintendo World Championships, we would still recommend that you not spend the 50 cents on this to complete your collection. There's replayability here. We begrudgingly gave it 6s, but fuck replaying. We didn't want to play it the first time after we were done. I'll add another beer because why the hell not at this point?
Alright, I'm going to try and make this the quickest overall we've ever done. Fuck this game. It sucks. You've heard our complaints. There's nothing more to say. We gave it 2s. And as far as the beer requirement meter, I know recently I haven't been adding beers at the end. I'm adding 5 more beers. I'm not keeping a running tally, but I have to imagine this is the most beers we've ever added to a game. So there. You need that many beers to try and enjoy this fucking game. Dear God. Alright, and as far as the beer pairing is concerned, what do you pair with a lingering piece of dog shit like this game? Well, we had to go with something cheap and something we don't really care for, and that's Milwaukee's Best Ice. Listen, we're all about drinking on a budget, and if you're at a college party or playing some beer pong with buddies and you just need something to get drunk with, maybe you resort to this. But shit, I'd rather spend some money on Lion's Head Light or something like that. Don't waste your money on any good beer, keep it cheap, and you're gonna need a shit ton of them, so get yourself a case. As always, guys, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you click subscribe, refer to a friend, or give us a thumbs up. Till next time, guys, cheers.